Delta State Traditional Rulers Council, DSTRC, have called on the federal and the Delta State government to immediately begin the reconstruction of Okuama community destroyed in the aftermath of the brutal killing of 17 soldiers in March this year. Now, in a 4-point communique issued at the end of their meeting in Asaba, the Royal Fathers also implored the newly elected local government council chairman to embark on people-oriented projects. The chairman of the organization, Oroje of Okwe Kingdom, Major General Felix Mujakwero, retired, who presented the communique, said that the construction of Okuama community will alleviate the sufferings of the people and will also facilitate the early return of the displaced residents to their ancestral homes. So it means that a lot of the residents of Okuama community are not even there anymore. They had to flee due to the crisis that Okuama community has been in the news for. In fact, so people who never knew that community existed now know about that community with different wrong stories or negative news coming from that community.
That incident, it happened in March this year, and we all condemned the killing of the 17 soldiers, some of them top-ranking soldiers. Yes. But we also decried the approach of the military because their actions did not show professionalism in executing that assignment. So,
do you really expect anything different from the military concerning their approach? Because a lot of people saw that coming.
See, Nigeria is evolving, and most of our institutions are becoming more sophisticated than we used to have. We expect a military, an army that should be law-abiding, because the army itself is a creation of the law in any way. So we expected the military to act in a professional way, and not just to go in their usual just go in and begin to kill because they are quick. By the end of the day, there was one program we had. I asked a question: have they been able to apprehend the culprits? If no, it means they have failed. Because you cannot just roll in machinery, bombing, killing, and so on. Meanwhile, the culprits, those who committed the offense, are not apprehended.
And even apprehending the culprits, you need to make sure that these guys are really the culprits. We need to also know the measures that were carried out in apprehending the culprits. Because a lot of times we have seen this raid, like you said, and you know, something bad doesn't really need to happen in that environment. We've heard stories where young boys were just sitting down somewhere and then there was a raid. Yes,
in Bayelsa State it has happened. It happened first in Odi. It also happened in Agay. It happened in Odioma. So by the end of the day, such military operations just ended up killing people who knew nothing about retaliation. Yes, but that sort of retaliation is uncivilized, it's unprofessional. So I want to join forces with the king of Okwe, that the federal government should do something to alleviate the suffering of the people. For instance, burning down houses. All these locals, where will they have money to come and rebuild their settlements? Again, because of the psychological scar in most of them, they may not return to that community for a long time, except they have been given assurance. One way you can give them assurance is to ensure you rebuild the community.
And then security.
Yes. After rebuilding the community, you reorganize the community in a more civilized order so that such an event, such an incident will not happen. But there's one point I need to make. I expect a situation where the state government, they should not leave it to the federal government alone. The state government, especially the Minister of Chieftaincy, Minister of Works and the Minister of Chieftaincy Affairs should come together. They should partner to ensure they don't just give food and so on to the displaced persons, but they reassure the people of their safety and security. And one way they can achieve that is to ensure they rebuild. I am not saying they should build big houses.
Maybe you should explain what you mean by rebuild the community.
What I mean by rebuild is so many houses were burnt.
The government should build those houses.
Yes, it is not out of place. They can build local housing units for the people. I know it's a community. There may be big houses, maybe, but there may not be many. So building local houses, you know, then mobilizing a section of the police to the community. Maybe if the community never had a police post, they can now bring a police station to reassure the people. And in doing so, the cooperation of the locals is very, very important. Just the way they went and invaded the community, I'm sure if they did not succeed in getting the culprits, it may be that there was no cooperation between the local people and the military. And that is why the police is a more civil force. The police should be able to go in, investigate. The military does not investigate in most cases. They court martial. If there is an allegation that Mr. A has committed a crime, the next thing they do is to court martial him.
Some of the reasons the people left the community, aside the fact that their houses were burnt and all of that, a lot of them had fears.
Yes.
You know, fears that these military personnel might come back. Immediately I heard that they killed some military personnel in a particular community, I just thought, like a lot of other Nigerians, flee from that place immediately.
That is it.
Because they are coming for you. You know, that's what a lot of Nigerians would feel. And that's what we saw, you know, playing out from the media. So the reason some of them left is not only because their houses were burnt. So even if the government goes into the community and then builds those houses, what is the assurance that those people, what is the assurance the government wants to give those people that these military personnel are not coming back, not for the corporate this time, but for the people of the community?
You know, I just mentioned psychological scar. You know, the people of Okuama had to pass through a lot of trauma, a lot of depression. All these are psychological.
They lost loved ones.
Apart from losing loved ones and their property and whatever, that psychology, that fear, that trauma is not something building a house alone can cure.
True.
So that time, you know, we said that they should move in some counselors, some psychiatrists to ensure that, you know, the returnees were mentally stable to be able to take what they had seen at that time. So rebuilding the place
is one.
Should also come along with other benefits, like, you know, living. A detachment of the military can go there and live with them as civil members of our indispensable society. Relate with them. The police who can go there, relate with them. It happened in OD. OD was sacked. That was during the Obasanjo administration. And those who were killed were people who did not even know what was happening. But today, I think they have overcome now. The people have been able to overcome the trauma, the depression, and what have you. That's years? About 20 years or thereabout.
We heard the other time that the government actually went into the OD community and gave families some amount of money concerning what happened years ago. But my question, back to my question now. What is the assurance that the government wants to give these people that these military men are not coming back? And what is the assurance on this side that the military men actually will not go back for those people?
They will not. They went there on command. You know, the military men cannot invade the community without the knowledge of the military high command. You know, something happened. Military men were killed. So the military men that went there did not go on their own. They were directed to go there. So if there is peace, of course, if there is sustainable peace in the community, there will be nothing like military men visiting them frequently. No, it won't happen. That was an isolated case, and it has happened, and the government has to find a solution to it.
All right, let's hope that more will be done, especially regarding the psychology of these residents of the Okuama community, or former residents of the Okuama community.